Good afternoon, everyone! Welcome po sa DPWH Sorsogon 2nd, DPWH Sorsogon. Today is January 21, 2026. Scheduled for today's pre-bid conference is for the contract 25FL0128. Pre-bid po ito. Construction of Sipaya Bridge, Juban, Sorsogon, Juban, Sorsogon. Present here today for today's pre-bid conference is for the contract for today are the following: Levi Pura Jr., Back Chairman. Present. Dave Quintiana, Back Vice Chairman. Present po. Christian E. Austria, IT. Chloe F. Valeros, Back Member.
Present.
Joanna C. Calagos, Back Member.
Present.
Abby Rodriguez from Planning Section.
Present.
Lenin Show, Back Secretariat.
Present.
Erwin Insanaras, Back Member.
Present.
Mr. Chair, for today's pre-bid conference, meron na po tayong quorum and wala pong contractors na present po today.
Okay, since we already have a quorum, this pre-bid conference is a call to order. The agenda for this pre-bid meeting are as follows: basic contact data, requirements of bidding documents, eligibility criteria, documents to be submitted by the bidder, including technical and financial proposals, criteria and procedures for eligibility check, preliminary examination of bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification and award, summary proceedings including bid bulletins to be issued, questions, comments from the bidders, and replies back from the representatives of procurement entity, and other matters. To discuss the basic contract data is Engineer Abby Rodriguez.
Basic contract data 25FL0128. Contract name, construction of Sipaya Bridge, Juban, Sorsogon. Contract location, Juban, Sorsogon. The approved budget for the contract or APC is 99 million pesos. Source of fund, CAA 2025. Contract duration, 300 calendar days. Predetermined unworkable number of days, 86 calendar days. Cost of bidding documents, 50,000 pesos. Submission of bids is scheduled on February 4, 2026 until 10 a.m. Opening of bids, February 4, 2026, immediately after closing receipt of bids. Major category of work, the code is BCCCP. Scope of works, construction of bridge and approach including box culvert and drainage. Objective, to ensure public safety through reliable and durable infrastructure, and to provide safe and efficient passage and improve accessibility to essential facilities such as schools, hospitals, and markets. Here is the project location for the construction of Sipaya Bridge, the geotag photos, and the environmental compliance certificate released on November 19, 2025. The geotechnical investigation, a detailed engineering design plan with the net length of bridge of 65 linear meter. The project location, the general plan and elevation, the foundation plan and layout, and the board file coordinates. The soil profile, the typical cross-sections, and the framing plan and longitudinal section, and the straight line diagram. Requirements of bidding documents, instruction to bidders or ITB, general conditions of contract, special conditions of contract, the bid data sheet, specification, DPWH Blue Book Volume 2 and 3, drawings, bill of quantities, and forms. Here's the sample of bid data sheet. These are all downloadable from DPWH website. The special conditions of contract. Again, these are all downloadable from DPWH website. Here's the sample of bill of quantities for the contract ID 25FL0128. Minimum manpower requirement. Project manager must have handled infrastructure projects. Project engineer DPWH accredited project engineer, the materials engineer DPWH accredited ME, general construction foreman must have handled similar projects. Safety and health officer must have undergone 40 hours basic construction safety and health training. The minimum equipment requirement: air compressor 1 unit, applicator machine 1 unit, backhoe with breaker 1 unit, backhoe wheel mounted 1 unit, bulldozer 1 unit, cargo or service truck 1 unit, concrete patch plant 1 unit, crawler crane all models 1 unit, drilling rig 1 unit, dump truck all models 2 units, dynamic tile casting 1 unit, joint sealer 1 unit, kneading machine 1 unit, motorized road grader 1 unit, T-loader 1 unit, tile integrity 1 unit, SPT and descending machine 1 unit, telescopic man lift 1 unit, tower lights 1 unit, transit mixer all models 2 units, truck mounted crane 2 units, vibratory roller 1 unit, vibro hammer 1 unit, water trunk or tank 1 unit, low bed trailer truck 1 unit.
Key points. The lowest calculated responsibility will be used as a criteria for award. The amount of advance payment is 15% of the total contract price to be made in lump sum. All progress payments shall be first charged against the advance payment until the latter has been fully exhausted at the option of the procuring entity. The contractor shall submit program of work to the procuring entity within 10 days of delivery from the notice of award. Submission and receipt of bids. Bid validity shall be 120 calendar days. Gagamitin po natin ang 2 envelope system where the first envelope contains the eligibility and technical documents and the second envelope contains the financial proposals. Ganyan po. Original technical and the original financial all nakaloob po sa isang envelope marked original bid. Each envelope shall contain the name, the contract to be bid, name and address of the bidder, recipient back, procuring entity, and the markings do not open before the date, time of the opening of bids. Ganun din po sa copy 1. Ang copy 1 and original bid shall be then enclosed in one single bid po. In a single bid, each envelope shall contain the name, the contract to be bid, name and address of the bidder, recipient back, procuring entity, and the markings do not open before the date and time of the opening of bids. Unsealed, unmarked bid shall not be accepted. Not compressed and password protected shall not be accepted. Improperly sealed and marked bid shall be accepted. Improperly compressed and password protected shall be accepted. Modification of bids. Modification of bids shall be submitted before the deadline of submission of bids. Bidder shall not be allowed to retrieve its original bid. The bidder shall submit new bid equally sealed, properly linked to its original bid and marked as modification. For letter withdrawals, the letter of withdrawal must be received prior to the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids. For bids withdrawn, the interval between the deadline and the expiration of bid validity, the bid security shall be forfeited. For electronic submission of bid po, electronic bid submission, bidder shall send another bid equally secured, properly identified, and labeled as modification of the one previously submitted. The time indicated in the latest bid receipt page generated shall be the official time of submission of bid. Meron po tayong 2 modes of submission of bid. Yan po ay through manual submission of bid and electronic submission of bid. For manual submission of bid, yan po sa Box Secretariat Office, DPWH Sorsogon 2nd D o Barangay Payawid, Juban, Sorsogon. For electronic submission of bids, yan po sa electronic bids_sorsogon2 at dpwh.gov.ph. Eligibility criteria. The following persons or entities shall be allowed to participate in the bidding of infrastructure projects. First, a duly licensed Filipino citizen for sole proprietorship, partnerships duly organized under the laws of the Philippines, and of which at least 60% of the interest belongs to the citizens of the Philippines. Corporations duly organized under the laws of the Philippines, and of which at least 60% of the outstanding capital stock belongs to the citizens of the Philippines. Cooperatives duly organized under the laws of the Philippines, or persons, entities forming themselves into a joint venture as per section 52.4.2.1 of RA 12009. Foreign bidders may be eligible to participate in the procurement of infrastructure projects when provided for under or any treaty or international or executive agreement as provided by Section 4 of RA 12009. Bidders must have a valid PCAB license, must have a single largest completed contract that is similar to the contract to be bid of at least 50% of the ABC. The single largest completed contract shall be supported by owner certificate of final acceptance issued by the project owner other than the contractor, or a final rating of at least satisfactory in the CPES or similar performance and monitoring system. Contractor under small a and small b categories without similar experience, provided the cost of the contract to be bid is not more than the ARCC of registration. Bidders must have an NFCC at least equal to the ABC. Stated invitation to bid. Contractors, applicants who wish to participate in this bidding must be in the document request list, DRL, or the PhilJEP's website, and secure a printout copy showing that they are included in the list and are encouraged to enroll in the DPWH Civil Works application, CWA, at the DPWH Procurement Service, 5th floor DPWH Building, Bonifacio Drive, Port Area, Manila. While those already enrolled should keep the records current and updated. Contractors' eligibility to bid on the project will be determined using the DPWH Contractor Profile Eligibility Process, CPEP, and subject to further post-qualification. We encourage our bidders to enroll in the CWA to facilitate the fast evaluation of their eligibility. However, if they have not yet enrolled in the CWA, ito po ang mga documents na kailangan lang submit. Class A legal documents, PhilJEP Certificate of Registration, PCAB License and Registration, Statement of Ongoing Government and Private Contracts, Statement of the Bidder's Single Largest Completed Contract, computation of the NFCC, valid joint venture agreement if applicable. Bid security in a form of cash, manager's check, bank draft, bank guarantee 2%, surety bond callable upon demand 5% of the ABC, or you can submit po yung bid securing declaration. Please be guided po ng RA 12009 para po sa format ng ating bid securing declaration. Project requirements, organizational chart for the contract to bid, list of contractors' key personnel, list of contractors' major equipment units, owned, leased, or under purchased agreement. Latest General Information Sheet, GIS, reflecting the beneficial ownership information duly received by the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, for corporations. Sworn affidavit of eligibility and beneficial ownership, following the template attached as Annex A for all bidders including sole proprietorship. ISO 9001-2015 certificate for its latest version as applicable as per Department Order Number 110 Series 2024. Omnibus Sworn Statement duly notarized. Please be guided po ulit ng panibago nating form ng Omnibus Sworn Statement as per RA 12009. Yan po ang ating checklist. Please be guided din po. For tax clearance, submission of BIR receipt for renewal of tax clearance will not suffice in view of valid tax clearance requirement. Submission of provisionary tax clearance issued by the BIR for bidding purposes is not acceptable form of tax clearance. Dapat po tax clearance talaga. Statement of ongoing government and private contracts. Statement of the bidder of ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract you bid. The statement should include all information required in the bidding documents. For the statement of single largest completed contract, the bidder must have completed a single largest completed contract that is similar to the procurement project, same major categories of work to be bid. The single largest completed contract's value, adjusted to current prices using the PSA consumer price indices, must be at least 50% of the ABC to be bid, provided that any change to the 50% requirement may be allowed subject to the recommendation of the procuring entity, which shall be submitted to the GPPB for consideration. Provided that contractors under small a and small b categories without similar experience on the procurement project to be bid may be allowed to bid if the cost of such contract is not more than the allowable range of contract cost or ARCC of the registration based on the guidelines prescribed in the PICAP. PICAP license, valid PICAP license, special PICAP license for joint venture, dapat po nakatouch din yan. Yan po ang sample ng ating bid securing declaration. Pakicheck na lang po. Yan rin po dapat ang laman ng ating omnibus form statement as per RA 12009. May format na po dyan, downloadable. Yan po. Financial proposal. Ang laman naman po ng ating second envelope, the financial proposal shall be the bid for summary bid prices in the bid of quantities, detailed estimate including a summary sheet indicating the unit prices of materials, labor, and equipment, cash flow by quarter, month, and payment schedule, other documents required in the bidding documents. Please be guided po ng ating bid form. May panibago na pong bid form as per RA 12009. Yan po. Downloadable naman po yan. Please check na lang po. Yan po ang ating checklist ng ating financial proposal. For detailed evaluation of bid, ang purpose po niyan is to determine the lowest calculated bid by establishing correct calculated prices of bids. Ranking calculated total bid prices from lowest to highest. A method po, a non-discretionary criterion shall be used, which shall include consideration of completeness of bids and minor arithmetical corrections. The results shall be contained in the abstract of bids. In case of discrepancies between bid price in figures versus bid price and words shall prevail. Total price per item versus the unit price for the item times the quantity. The unit price for the item times the quantity shall prevail. The stated total price versus the actual sum of prices of component items. The actual sum of prices of component items shall prevail. The unit cost in the detailed estimate versus the unit cost in the bill of quantities. The unit cost in the bill of quantities shall prevail. Reminders po sa ating mga bidders of the no-contact rule during the evaluation bid, prohibition on communication with bidders from bid evaluation until the issuance of award po. For post-qualification, ang purpose po niyan is to determine whether the lowest calculated bid complies with its and is responsive to all requirements and conditions as specified in the bidding documents to be declared as the lowest calculated responsive bid. Our method po is a non-discretionary pass or fail criterion shall be used to verify, validate, and ascertain all statements and documents submitted by the lowest calculated bid. Common reasons po ng mga disqualifications ng ating mga bidders. 1. A. Submission of late bids without valid reason. Submission of patently insufficient bid. Submission of expired field job certificate, failure to include certificate of employment, contract agreement among permanent personnel and staff of the firm, and curriculum vitae, failure to submit the required bid form, submission of incomplete, insufficient, or defective documents due to non-inclusion or omission of mandatory provisions and statements for the required bid form. Kung minsan po kasi ang ginagamit natin bid form ay luma na. May mga lines po dyan na dapat kasama po. Submission of bid form, bid securing declaration, omnibus form statement, joint venture agreement without name, legal capacity, and signature of the bidder or its authorized representative. Nomination of key personnel of a profession different from what is required by the bidding documents. Failure to submit certification of key personnel as per DO 9 of 2012. Failure to comply with the required minimum number of key personnel and equipment. Ito, kadalasan. Failure to submit proof of ownership, lease, or purchase agreement of pledged equipment. Insufficient MCC, insufficient single largest completed contract. Thank you.
Any clarifications or questions? Wala na po. Since we have